I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person.
31-year-old Deobra Redden pleads for leniency before a judge sentences him for this. An attack on District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus as she sentenced him in January on a charge of attempted battery. Redden running up and jumping over Holthus's bench.
I'm not making excuses for my actions. I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I cared about her well-being.
Holthus and a courtroom marshal both injured in the attack, leading prosecutors to charge Redden with attempted murder. During trial in September, Redden agreed to plead guilty, with the stipulation he's mentally ill.
I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing anything except for jumping on top of her and doing this to her robe. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what I wanted to ask her, if I think I know myself, but I'm not really sure.
He made a conscious decision to kill me and made every effort to succeed. If he had his way, he'd be facing a sentence of life without the possibility of parole for murder.
Prosecutors reading a statement from Holthus during Tuesday's sentencing, Redden crying as his attorney explained his client's years-long battle with schizophrenia.
This is a person that can and would be able to do it given the appropriate help from a psychologist and mental health counselor.
As she handed down her 26 to 65-year sentence, the judge in this case saying this attack was one on all judges.
It was not just retaliation for an attack on Judge Holthus. It was also an attack on the judiciary.
With credit for time served, Redden will be eligible for parole in the 2050s. He'd be in his mid-50s by then. I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.
Days after the attack in January, Judge Holthus continued the hearing, sentencing Redden to several years in prison. Today's judge ordering this new sentence to start after that time on that case is fulfilled. The judge also today ordering Redden to pay more than $60,000 in restitution to the court employees who had to take time off from work after that attack.
I made a video about this last year about this dude jumped across there and attacked the judge. I talked about this last year. But damn, cuz they don't gave you what, 24 years and something like that up in prison, 24 or 65 years. And so basically you're going to be like in your 50s when you get out. So what, you like 31, 32 and you're going to be in your 50s? Good Lord, cuz. Damn, bro. They ain't trying to hear all that, bro. You talking about saying that I'm not an evil person, this and that. The judges and prosecutors, they ain't trying to hear that, bro. They got it on video camera. And it's not a good look. It is not a good look when you jumped over there and you beat on that judge. And I'm going to just say this. A lot of people don't like judges. Yeah, judges out there are pretty much despised just as much as people despise cops. And the reason why I say that is because the same thing about these cops going around there shooting, going around being trigger happy and shooting black people. People kind of feel the same way about these judges, letting some of these cops go, or sentencing somebody in your family, life in prison. You know, some of you people don't have a slight clue that, you know, judges out there are hated just as much as these cops out there by sentencing their family members to life in prison. You know, it's tough for some of these judges to make these decisions. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of judges neither. I'm not a big fan of a judge. Because here you are, you know, your faith is in their hands, and your faith is in the judge's hand on what they want to decide to do with you, on what they think is best for you. You know what I'm saying? So you crashing out like that, bro, you was a straight up crash dummy for doing that. You crashed out, but you one of them crash dummies. You one of them crash dummies and did it in court. And you can try to play crazy all you want to, bro. Talking about say you didn't know what you was doing at that moment. You don't remember. It doesn't matter, bro. They don't care what you go through in your childhood life. Oh, Judge, I suffer from this and I went through this in my childhood and all that stuff like that. I got mental issues and I got this, I got that problems. The judges and prosecutors does not care about that. You know how many times they heard that lame excuse from every person that appear in front of them in courtroom? They don't heard that same excuse. Different judges heard that same pitiful excuse in front of all these guys. Because, these judges, they love it when they see you guys play tough. You guys act tough. But then when you get in front of that judge, you want the judge to have mercy on y'all. Oh, judge, please have mercy on me. I'm not a bad person. That's what these judges like. They like to see guys like these just look up to them and just get on their knees and just beg the judge not to give them life in prison or not to give them serious time. Please, judge, have mercy on me, Your Honor. Judges love that. Some of them judges, they love it. They don't show it, but they love it. Because I'm sure when they go in that back, they be like, watch, when I go out there, the best part's going to come up. Watch these tough guys out there that claim to be tough, claim to be gangster. The best part's going to come up. And when the judges don't show no mercy to guys like these, then that's when they start crying. They start crying because the judge didn't really show them that much mercy. And the judges, some of them don't take pleasure of doing it, but some of them, they got to do what they got to do. It's their job, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything the judges do, but for this dude right here to jump over there and beat on that white woman like that, for one, yeah, she's a judge. But at the same time, it's like what I said in my video last year about this. That was a woman you jumped on. Okay, she a judge, but at the same time, that's a woman. And one thing I don't like to see a grown-ass man trying to beat on a woman, whether they're a judge or not. That woman's still a human being. Because that woman look old enough to be your grandmother, bro. I looked at that woman. That woman looked like she was probably like in her 60s. She might not be 60, but she looked like she's probably about 59. In her 50s or 60s probably. But I can look at that woman and tell she's an elderly woman. And you jumped over there and you beat on an elderly woman. It doesn't matter whether she's white, black, Chinese, Mexican. I don't care what race they is. You know what I'm saying? You don't, especially for a grown man to go up there and beat on a woman. Man, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no respect for a woman that beat on men. I mean, I don't have no respect for a man that beat on a woman. It's one thing to cuss a woman out, okay? Because you ain't put your hands on her, but for you to jump over there and put your hands on that woman like that and try to beat on that woman like you beating on a man, bro, you pussy for that, bro. You pussy for that. I bet you won't do a man like that. Someone that's like your age. I bet you won't do a man like that. But yeah, you can easily jump over and try to fight. You can easily try to fight a woman. But you won't do a man like that. Yeah, you try to act all tough. You think that make you look tough by just jumping over there and beating on a woman like that, bro? Yeah, she a judge. And I don't agree on a lot of things these judges do, but for you to jump over there and beat on that woman like that, bro, you wrong for that, bro. You ain't have to beat that woman like that. That was a woman you beat on, bro. A woman, an elderly woman that you beat on, bro. So that you don't earn no points for that. That ain't no points. That was just some suckery stuff you just did right there, because you couldn't control your emotions, man. Nobody wants to hear the bad news on what the judge is going to sentence you. Nobody wants to go through that stuff. You think you're better than everybody else that had to deal with that kind of stuff with people go through judges? Hey, bro, you suck it up just like everybody else do, bro. No one doesn't like how the judge talk to them. Yeah, some of these judges can get slick with their mouth and they'll say things that you don't like. But you ain't no different than nobody else, man. I mean, even though it's sickening us to sit there and say, yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor. A lot of people don't want to say that to the judges, but they got to. So, sometimes you gotta swallow your pride, bro. Situations like that, sometimes you gotta swallow your pride. And evidently, bro, you didn't want to swallow your pride that day. You felt like you wanted to do it in violence. When you could have just stood there. You ain't no different than nobody else, bro. Everybody else had to take what the judge say to them. So what makes you think you any like you special? Like you don't want to hear what the judge have to say to you? I don't want nobody wants the judge to talk down on them. Nobody wants to hear a slick mouth, smart mouth judge. Nobody wants to deal with that when they go to court. But they have to. And yes, it makes people mad. Yeah, it makes people mad. Makes them want to go up there in that stand and slap a judge in the face. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it makes a lot of people feel that way, like how you feel. But that right there was just plain stupid what you just did. In the courtroom, in front of a lot of witnesses. I mean, and camera was rolling too. And now you want to try to play crazy. Now you want to try to play crazy like they ain't going for that, bro. It doesn't matter whether you're not. It doesn't matter whether you're stable or not. It doesn't matter, bro. You can try to play crazy all you want. They don't care about that. You committed a serious crime by jumping over there, beating on that woman. Beating on that woman. You know? That was just stupid right there, man. Really stupid. So they made an example out of you by giving you what, 26 years in prison or whatever like that, 26 or 24 years or whatever like that. That's if you even make it. So yeah, bro, you brought it on yourself, man. You should have controlled that temper of yours, bro. Being a hothead, you can look at this dude and tell he's a hothead for what he did. I'm not a bad person. Then why you jumped on there and beat on that woman like that, bro? Shake my head, man. Do I agree with the sentence on what they gave him? Not really. I don't really agree with it. They should at least just gave him 6 years. Six years at the least, but 26 years? But hey, you put your hand on the judge, bro. I mean, that's on a whole nother level right there. And they definitely made an example out of you. People saying like, how he get 26 years and other people get less time, did serious crime than he did. Hey, the nigga assaulted the judge. And you a black man too? And you assaulted a white judge? Oh, you know them white folks down there gonna make an example out of you, bro. They showing us and letting everybody else know that if you do what this maniac right here just did, you're gonna get the same sentence. So basically, they just made an example out of this dude, not just by showing the whole entire world that if you do some shit like that to what he did to a judge, you might get the same sentence or probably more. That's basically what they're doing. They just use him as a guinea pig to make an example out of him. This nigga here's a guinea pig to make an example of, to show the whole world that this is what happened if you jump on a judge. That's basically what that's all about, people. Anyway, that's all I want to say about the situation, y'all. Peace.